What it do, YouTube? MJF Alive here, back again, bringing you another 6-gem Wi-Fi battle. This time it's against Jim from GameFAQs, so let's get into the battle. I left with my Voucher as I usually do. He's going to lead off with the Crobat. Now I'm going to go straight for the Thunder right away, predicting him to go for the Taunt to prevent me from going for the Sticky Web, but he doesn't want anything to do with Voucher. He's going to switch into his Donphan. Now if he goes for the Ice Shard here, which was very... I don't even understand that play, but I go for the Energy Ball. Just because I can't run Hidden Power Ice because it's really hard to get the hidden powers you want. So I think Energy Ball is a good option. So now here I wanted to go for the Thunder, predicting the Crobat to come in, but I felt like that was a risky switch for him, and Goodra was a much safer switch. So that's why I went for the Bug Buzz instead. I figured he was gonna go into Goodra, and he does do that. Goes for the Sludge Wave. I guess predicting me to go into my Gardevoir, but I'm gonna go for the Sticky Web and then go for another Bug Buzz after I got a special defense drop, which will allow me to do some decent damage. And he takes out my my Galvantula. So now I can go into Metacham and do some big damage to something. Now he's gonna go into his Azumarill, I guess expecting me to go for the high jump kick. Sorry about that, my throat's really sore. But I didn't do that. I went for the Mega Evolve, then went for the Ice Punch. Figured it was the safest move. Didn't really need to go for the high jump kick, even though the Azumarill switch was kind of obvious. But and I'm going to switch out and go into his Ferrothorn. Now, anytime you see an Azumarill, you immediately assume it's banded until proven otherwise. I figured he was going to go for the Play Rough there. He did miss, but I don't think it really mattered too much because I am max defense and I do resist that. And you'll see why a little bit later why it didn't matter also. So I'm going to go into Gardevoir, the perfect Hydreigon counter. And actually, my Gardevoir has terrible special defense IVs, and look how well it took that. If I had even the right IVs, it would have taken that even better. So just keep that in mind. Gardevoir is a specially defensive beast, and it's like the perfect counter to Hydreigon. So he's going to go into Goodra. I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp, expecting him to go into something. I was hoping he would go into his Crobat, but he goes into Goodra instead. Now here I'm going to protect because I know that Goodra has a ton of special defense, and I just want to make sure I'm going to be able to take him out with my Moonblast, and I also get an extra turn of Leftovers recovery that I would not have gotten had I just went straight for the Moonblast and KO'd it. So now I get 3 turns of Leftovers recovery as opposed to 2, and so that puts me at a good amount of HP, almost back at full HP, so I can switch back into the Hydreigon much safer. So now he goes out to his Azumarill again. When you see Azumarill, you assume it's banded, so I'm gonna go for the Protect here just to scout. Excuse me, sorry about that. To scout what he's going to do, he goes for the Aqua Jet. So again, I'm assuming that he's locked into the Aqua Jet, so I'm going to switch into my Ferrothorn here to take the Aqua Jet and take little to no damage from it. So he's going to go for the Aqua Jet here, and it's not going to do anything, and that didn't do a lot. Even though I do resist it, I am expecting Azumarill, if it's banded, I feel like it would have done a bit more. So now I'm kind of suspecting that it may not be banded. So right here, I'm going to go for the Leech Seed. I wanted to go for the Power Whip, but I felt like just in case he was banded, he would probably switch, and he would switch into Hydreigon most likely if he was banded. If he wasn't banded, I would be able to take a superpower at full HP, and then I think Leech was just a better play overall because now I'm kind of suspecting that he may not be banded. So now I'm gonna switch back into my Gardevoir. I mean, Hydreigon can't do anything to me, or so I thought. He actually goes for the Flash Cannon. And that does a lot. I was like, wow, that did so much, but he got a crit. And actually, I actually did not know that they changed the crit mechanics until this battle, because I felt like a crit from Hydreigon definitely should have killed me. So if you guys didn't know, crit mechanics, crits no longer do 2 times damage, they actually do 1.5 times damage. So that's why I was able to survive even a crit super effective move from Hydreigon. So he actually predicts my Protect really nicely here because I really needed to get some HP back from the Leech Seed. So he predicts that really nicely, and I'm starting to think that his Hydreigon might be choiced as well because he keeps switching it out. Because I think he probably should have stayed in and went for another Flash Cannon there, even though he did have the Leech Seed on him. But now here's where he shows me that he isn't banded, because he goes for the superpower, and I'm going to stay in obviously because I can take that, and he hits me up with an Aqua Jet, and I just barely survive, and I am able to survive because it is not banded, and I was at a good amount of HP, and also Aqua Jet isn't the strongest move even with the pure power boost. So I'm able to get a wish off. So now here he goes for the Aqua Jet, and now I predicted him to predict me to switch into Ferrothorn, so I know he's going to go for superpower here. So this is going to give me the perfect opportunity to burn his Azumarill because I double resist it, and because it's burned, it's not going to do anything. So that was a really really good play on my part. And now here I'm gonna go even better with the next level predictions, and I'm gonna predict him to go into Crobat because at this point he's seen my entire moveset, so Crobat can take me on perfectly. So I'm gonna go for the double Will-O-Wisp, burn that Crobat, so now that Crobat can't touch me either. So great play. Gardevoir is putting in work on his team, and if you haven't noticed, all I've done is switch back and forth between Gardevoir and Ferrothorn. This is pretty much the most of the battle because these two Pokemon really take on his team very, very well. So now I'm going to switch back into Ferrothorn. He's going to taunt me to prevent me from wishing and protecting or doing any of those shenanigans. I could have protected there just to get some extra burn damage on him, but I didn't really feel like it was necessary. So now here, again, he's going to go into his Hydreigon. I'm going to go for the Gyro Ball just to hit something hard, and I figured the Hydreigon was going to come in, and it just barely survived, like 1% HP. Like, jeez, man. I'm surprised about that. But he's going to go for the Focus Blast here. He has to kill my Ferrothorn because it's a big thorn in his side. Oh, no pun intended. But now he's going to go for the Focus Blast. Doesn't do anything. Then he's going to go for the Flash Cannon. I survived that, and now I'm just going to take out this Hydreigon with the Moonblast. So Gardevoir has successfully done her job. She took out the Hydreigon. She's burned 2 Pokemon, so she doesn't really need to do much else for the rest of the battle. She's perfectly good for Death Fodder now. So I'm going to switch out though because I do have a stage switch into the Crobat, which is the Ferrothorn. I expected him to roost here because I saw a taunt. I see the leftovers, so I figured it's probably going to be the bulky taunt roost set that's really popular in the underused here, and it's actually a pretty good staller. So here I went for Power Whip because I know the biggest threat to my team is he still hasn't gone into it, which is his Medicham. So I was expecting him to go into his Donphan to take the Gyro Ball, so that and try to Rapid Spin, but he actually makes the smarter play. Goes into Azumarill, sacks that, so he can get a free switch into Donphan, so he can Rapid Spin. And this is where the problems start, because now that the Sticky Web is gone, his Medicham and my Medicham potentially have the same speed, because I'm actually adamant. I'm not Jolly, so if his Medicham is Jolly, his Medicham will outspeed me, and if he has, Ice Punch, Zen Headbutt, High Jump Kick, Fire Punch, like, those 4 moves are a big problem for my team. So I was actually really, really worried because the Sticky Web got Rapid Spun away. That was a really good play on his part, and now here's where the problems start for me. I had perfect control of the game until this point. So I'm going to sack my Gardevoir now. She's done her job. So basically, I have to hope here that he doesn't have Ice Punch. Like, that's my only hope, is that he doesn't have Ice Punch. And luckily, he goes straight for the Zen Headbutt, so that means that he more than likely does not have Ice Punch. And look how much that Zen Headbutt does to a Gliscor. Jeez, man, Medicham is powerful. Like I said, you can't switch into Medicham. Had I switched into that Zen Headbutt, I would have been 2-hit KO'd easily. So now he's going to switch into his Crobat here. Now, I made a slight misplay here. Should have stayed in an extra turn and go for the Protect to get some extra HP and extra burn damage on him, because he's obviously going to go for the taunt here. So that was a misplay on my part here, but I make an even bigger misplay that could have cost me the game later on, coming up soon. So I'm going to switch into my Ferrothorn. Again, I have a safe switch into the Crobat. He's going to go for the Roost, and here I was hoping that Gyro Ball did enough damage to where he couldn't Roost stall me out, but because it's a bulkier Crobat, even with the speed, he's going to be able to take the Gyro Ball pretty nicely, so I can't stay in with Ferrothorn. So I'm going to switch out into my Dragalge here, and now I'm hoping that a Dragon Pulse from my Dragalge can do enough to where he can't just Roost stall me out. And this is where I make the mistake, a big mistake coming up in a couple of seconds. So I'm gonna go for the Dragon Pulse. He's obviously gonna go for the Roost here. Now he's already used 2 Roosts at this point, and because there's only 1 PP up in the game, it's highly unlikely that he has 16 Roosts. And I've only used 1 Dragon Pulse, so I should have stayed in and kept on Dragon Pulsing and force him to use up all his Roosts, and then eventually I would win that war. But because I got impatient, I was like, I made a more offensive switch, and this was a bad play because I need my Medicham at full health to take on his Medicham, because I've already weakened his Medicham with the Earthquake from Gliscor. So all I need to do is Bullet Punch, and I can take him out from there. So basically, I put him in a position, if my Medicham's at full health, to where he would have to Bullet Punch me, and he can't take me out from full health, and then I could take him out, and then my Medicham could take him one-on-one. But because I allowed my Medicham to take damage, now if he outspeeds me, he can just go for Zen Headbutt or even High Jump Kick, because we know High Jump Kick does 99% to Medicham. We saw that last battle. So now I'm in a very, very bad position, and now I've left it up to chance, because you see there he actually goes for the Zen Headbutt, predicting my Gliscor to come in, predicting me to predict his High Jump Kick, but and then he flinches me. So he made a bad prediction there, and he gets bailed out with a flinch, because had I not flinched there, then none of these things wouldn't have been a problem. I would have just Gyro Balled and killed it. But now it's a problem because his Medicham